Bologna is one of the most eaten deli meats in America, billions of slices consumed every year, and almost nobody actually knows what happens inside the factory that makes it. Not the vague idea most people have, but the real detailed step-by-step process that transforms raw meat into those perfectly uniform, perfectly pink, perfectly smooth rounds that have been in American refrigerators for generations. This is the complete factory journey, and it is more precise and more interesting than anything you have imagined. It begins with raw meat, and the specific inputs matter from the very first step. Bologna is classified as a cooked emulsified sausage, a category that includes hot dogs and mortadella, and its defining characteristic is that the meat is not ground in the conventional sense, but processed into a fine, completely smooth emulsion before being cooked into its final form. The raw materials used in commercial Bologna production are skeletal meat trimmings from beef, pork, chicken, or a combination of all three, depending on the formula and the label declaration. These are not prime cuts. They are the trim pieces generated during the processing of other products. Lean muscle meat, fat, and connective tissue in varying ratios that are sorted by species and lean to fat content before arriving at the Bologna plant. The specific blend of trimmings used in any formula is determined by the target protein content, fat content, and flavor profile of the finished product, and the incoming raw material specifications are tight enough that the plant's quality team tests and verifies each incoming load before it is approved for use. Fresh trimmings arrive in vacuum-sealed combo bins and are held in refrigerated receiving areas at temperatures just above freezing. Frozen trimmings arrive as solid blocks and are held in frozen storage until they are needed, at which point they are moved to a tempering area where controlled ambient temperature brings them to a semi-frozen state, firm enough to handle mechanically without deforming, but soft enough to process through grinding equipment without damaging it. The target temperature for meat entering the grinding system is typically between 28 and 34 degrees Fahrenheit. This temperature window is not arbitrary. The emulsification process that follows generates significant frictional heat, and starting with meat that is as cold as possible gives the production team the maximum thermal budget to work with before the emulsion temperature rises to a level that causes quality problems. With the raw material at temperature and approved for use, the first active processing step begins: size reduction in the grinder. The grinding system accepts the incoming trimmings and reduces them to a particle size that the emulsifier downstream can work with efficiently. Large industrial grinders use a heavy rotating auger that pushes the meat toward a grinding plate with precisely sized holes. The trimmings are fed into the grinder's hopper, large pieces of semi-frozen trim dropping in and emerging from the other end as coarse ground meat in a continuous stream. For Bologna, the initial grind is typically done in 2 passes. The first pass uses a coarse plate to break down the larger pieces, and the second uses a finer plate to prepare the material for the emulsifier. Between passes, or immediately before the first pass, the ground meat moves through an inline metal detector that scans for any metallic contamination introduced by the processing equipment. Catching metal at this stage, before the materials are further processed, is a critical food safety control. Metal fragments are far easier to detect and remove in a coarse ground state than after the meat has been reduced to a fine emulsion. The ground meat exits the grinding system cold and moves directly into the bowl chopper, the machine that performs the most technically significant step in Bologna manufacturing and the one that determines the texture, stability, and visual character of the finished product. A commercial bowl chopper is a large stainless steel machine built around a rotating bowl and a bank of curved high-speed knives positioned above it. The ground meat is loaded into the bowl, and as the bowl rotates beneath the knife head, the blades cut through the meat at high velocity in a continuous chopping action that progressively reduces the particle size from coarse ground to a completely smooth, homogeneous paste. This is not a quick step. The full chopping cycle for a Bologna batch takes several minutes, and the sequence in which non-meat ingredients are added during the cycle is as important as the chopping itself. Water or flaked ice is the first addition after the meat is loaded, added in a controlled quantity to provide the liquid phase of the emulsion and to absorb the frictional heat generated by the high-speed knives. Salt goes in next, and this is a more chemically consequential addition than it might appear. Salt at the concentration used in sausage manufacturing extracts myosin and actin from the muscle cells, the same proteins responsible for muscle contraction in living tissue, and these extracted proteins form the emulsifying matrix that holds fat in suspension throughout the finished product. Without salt extraction of these proteins, the fat in the blend would separate from the water phase during cooking, producing a greasy, unstable product with pockets of melted fat rather than the smooth, uniform texture that defines Bologna. The salt-extracted protein matrix is what makes an emulsified sausage physically different from simple ground meat, and its formation in the bowl chopper is the chemical foundation of the entire product. Curing agents are added next: sodium nitrite and sodium erythorbate or sodium ascorbate. Sodium nitrite performs 2 essential and simultaneous functions in the formula. It reacts with the myoglobin in the meat to produce nitrosomoglobin, which on cooking converts to the stable pink pigment nitrosahemochrome. the characteristic pink-red color that every consumer associates with a slice of Bologna. Without nitrite, cooked Bologna would be uniformly gray, exactly like any other cooked meat. The color is a chemical reaction, not a natural property of the cooked product. The second function of nitrite is antimicrobial. It inhibits the growth of Clostridium botulinum, the pathogen responsible for botulism, in the anaerobic low-oxygen environment inside a cooked sausage. This food safety function is the primary regulatory reason nitrite is used, and the permissible levels are set by USDA regulation at concentrations high enough to provide the safety benefit without exceeding levels considered safe for consumption. Spices and seasoning blend are added after the curing agents, the specific combination of white pepper, garlic, coriander, mace, and other spices that gives any given brand its particular flavor profile. These seasoning blends are proprietary to the manufacturer and are pre-mixed before being added to the chopper as a single addition to ensure even distribution throughout the batch. Non-fat dry milk, soy protein isolate, or starch may be added in some formulations to bind additional moisture, improve texture consistency, and contribute to yield in the finished product. All of these must be declared on the label when used. Additional fat trimmings, if the lean to fat balance of the base trim requires adjustment, are added toward the end of the chopping cycle after the protein matrix has been established so that the fat disperses into the already formed emulsion rather than interfering with protein extraction. Throughout the chopping cycle, the temperature of the emulsion in the bowl is monitored continuously. The high-speed knives generate significant frictional heat with every revolution, and the emulsion temperature rises steadily as the cycle progresses. The critical threshold is approximately 58 degrees Fahrenheit, the temperature above which the protein-fat emulsion begins to destabilize, and the fat phase starts to separate from the water phase. Once an emulsion breaks in this way, it cannot be corrected, and the batch must be discarded. Ice added at the beginning of the cycle provides the buffer against this thermal failure, but the ice is finite, and the production team monitors the emulsion temperature against the expected temperature rise curve for each batch. When the chopping cycle is complete, the emulsion should be at or below the maximum safe temperature, smooth, pale pink, and completely homogeneous. A fluid paste with the consistency of a thick batter that holds its shape briefly when scooped but flows under its own weight. This finished emulsion is pumped from the bowl chopper into a holding system that keeps it cold and protected from air exposure. Oxidation of the fat phase at this stage can affect flavor and color development in the finished product while it is staged for the stuffing system. The stuffing machine receives the chilled emulsion from the holding system and pumps it under controlled pressure into the casings that will give Bologna its characteristic large cylindrical shape. Commercial Bologna uses large diameter fibrous casings, manufactured casings made from processed plant cellulose that are strong enough to contain the emulsion under the pressures of stuffing and cooking, maintain the cylindrical shape through the thermal processing cycle, and are removed from the finished product after cooking. The casing diameter for standard Bologna is typically between 3 and 5 inches, producing the large round cross-section of a retail Bologna chub, though the diameter varies by product format. Fibrous casings arrive at the facility pre-soaked in water to make them pliable for stuffing and are loaded onto the stuffing horn of the machine in lengths appropriate to the finished chub size. The stuffing operation fills each casing in a single continuous pump stroke. Emulsion flowing from the machine's pump cylinder through the horn and into the extending casing in a controlled bubble-free fill. Air pockets in the filled casing create voids in the finished product that are visible on slicing, so the stuffing system is designed to eliminate air entrainment during filling. The filled casing is clipped or tied at both ends to seal the emulsion inside, and the finished raw chub, a large, firm, casing-closed cylinder of pale pink emulsion, is hung on a smokestick or loaded into a cooking rack for the thermal processing stage. The loaded racks move into the smokehouse. The thermal processing system cooks the Bologna and develops its color, flavor, and final texture. The smokehouse is a large, enclosed cooking chamber with precise control over temperature, humidity, and airflow at every stage of the programmed cooking cycle. Bologna production runs a multi-phase smokehouse cycle that advances through different conditions in a defined sequence. The first phase applies smoke, natural wood smoke or atomized liquid smoke introduced into the chamber that deposits flavor compounds on the outer surface of the casing and, through the permeable fibrous material, into the outermost layer of the Bologna. The smoke phase also begins to develop the surface color of the product. The type of wood used, hickory, applewood, cherry, or others, affects the flavor character of the smoke deposition and is part of the formula's flavor specification. After the smoke phase, the chamber transitions to a series of dry and wet heat phases that progressively raise the internal temperature of each chub. The humidity in the chamber during these phases is managed to control moisture loss from the product. Too little humidity in the chamber and the casing surface dries faster than the interior cooks, causing case hardening that restricts heat transfer and extends cook time. The chamber conditions are programmed to keep the casing surface moist enough for efficient heat transfer while still cooking the interior progressively toward the target temperature. The USDA requires that fully cooked sausage products like Bologna reach an internal temperature of 160 degrees Fahrenheit throughout. a lethality endpoint that ensures complete destruction of pathogenic organisms, including salmonella, throughout the entire cross-section of the largest chub on the rack. Temperature probes inserted into representative chubs during the cycle verify that every part of every product load reaches this endpoint before the cycle is declared complete. During the cooking cycle, the emulsion inside each chub transforms permanently. The protein matrix that was established during chopping denatures under heat and sets into the firm, sliceable solid structure of cooked Bologna. The fat, held in suspension by the emulsified protein matrix, remains distributed throughout the product rather than separating, producing the smooth, uniform cross-section of a properly made Bologna slice. The nitrite-mediated color reaction completes during cooking, fixing the characteristic pink color that will remain stable through the product's refrigerated shelf life. The texture transition from fluid emulsion to firm sliceable product, all happening inside the sealed casing in the smokehouse, is the irreversible transformation that defines what Bologna is. When the cook cycle completes and the temperature probes confirm lethality throughout the load, the racks exit the smokehouse and move immediately to the shower and chilling station. Cold water showers are directed at the hot product from all angles, beginning to drive the surface temperature down as rapidly as possible the moment the racks exit the smokehouse. This rapid surface cooling is the start of the chilling process required to bring the product through the danger zone. The temperature range between 40 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit, where pathogen growth is fastest, before the product reaches its final refrigerated storage temperature. After the initial water shower, the product moves into a blast chill room where high-velocity cold air continues driving the internal temperature of each chub downward. The chilling system must bring the product to 40 degrees Fahrenheit or below within the time limit specified in the facility's HACCP plan, and temperature monitoring of the chilling process is documented as a critical control point record. The chilled chubs are now fully cooked, fully safe, and holding the firm, set texture of the finished product, but they are still in their fibrous casings and far from ready for retail packaging. The next step is peeling. The peeling line removes the fibrous casing from each chub in a fast, continuous operation. The fibrous casing is scored with a cutting wheel that slits the casing lengthwise without cutting into the Bologna surface beneath. And the slit casing is then stripped free from the product by a mechanical peeling mechanism. The peeled casing is collected as waste. The peeled Bologna chub surface is the smooth, slightly glossy, uniformly pink exterior that consumers recognize. The smokehouse cooking and the fibrous casing together produce this surface characteristic during the cook cycle, with the casings acting as a mold that gave the Bologna its perfectly cylindrical shape and smooth outer surface. From peeling, the chubs move into a final visual inspection pass where surface defects, casing tears that created surface irregularities, air pockets visible as surface indentations, or areas of discoloration are identified, and any chub with a disqualifying defect is diverted for rework or disposal. Chubs that pass inspection move to the slicing and packaging line, and this is where Bologna production branches into the primary retail format, pre-sliced deli-style packaging that dominates the consumer market. The slicing machine accepts whole chubs from the inspection conveyor and feeds them into a high-speed slicer, a machine with a rotating circular or orbital blade that cuts slices of a specified thickness at a rate of hundreds of slices per minute. The slice thickness is set by the blade advance per revolution and is controlled to produce the target slice weight and the visual thickness that the product specification requires. Bologna slices exit the slicer in a shingled or stacked stream and are transferred to a collating conveyor that groups them into the count and stack configuration for the retail package, typically a stack of 6, 8, or 12 slices, depending on the package format. The grouped slices are transferred to the packaging machine, a thermoform fill seal or modified atmosphere packaging system that seals the product in a format designed to maximize shelf life and visual appeal. Modified atmosphere packaging, where the air inside the sealed package is replaced with a controlled mixture of gases, typically nitrogen and carbon dioxide, that inhibits the growth of spoilage organisms and slows the oxidation of the cut surface color, is standard for pre-sliced deli meat products. The packaging machine forms the tray or base film, receives the slice stack, applies the top film, pulls the atmosphere modification, seals the package, and cuts it free. The sealed package moves to the check weigher, which verifies the net weight of each package against the declared weight, and then through the metal detector, which scans for any metallic contamination at the required sensitivity level. Both systems reject automatically and log every event. Labeled packages, carrying the brand, product name, ingredients, nutrition facts, net weight, and best before date, are conveyed to the case packing station, where they are grouped into shipping cases, sealed, coated with production and traceability information, and palletized. Completed pallets are stretch wrapped, labeled for distribution routing, and transferred to refrigerated, finished goods storage before entering the cold chain distribution network. From raw meat trimmings at the receiving dock to sealed, labeled, palletized retail packages in refrigerated storage, every step in sequence, every variable controlled, every safety checkpoint documented. Billions of slices a year, all through the same chopper, the same smokehouse, the same slicer, the same package. That is the complete factory journey of Bologna, and now you have seen what almost nobody outside these facilities ever gets to see. If this is the kind of content you come here for, a like makes a genuine difference. Subscribe for more factory and food production documentaries, and drop a comment telling us which deli meat, food product, or manufacturing process you want to see covered next. There is always more happening inside those walls than anyone imagines.